So I look a little cracked out because I just got out of the shower, but I wanted to jump on here to talk to you all about something called self belief, all right, and identity. I did a mini Masc program, I would say last year, in the summer of last year, a Masc program to help Masc individuals just cultivate more centeredness and stronger identity and, their masculinity, their Masc identity as a queer individual. So, in saying that, doing a whole topic on identity last year was way different than I actually experienced identity in the last year since then. What I definitely want to talk a lot about is there's a whole like movement in the spiritual community. I'm gonna keep these on. There's a whole movement in the spiritual community that is called manifestation, right? Manifestation. And if you haven't heard of manifestation, you pretty much probably have been sleeping under a rock, okay? And what I want to say in terms of manifestation is that manifestation is nothing without identity, okay? Like, identity and self-belief are everything. And just to keep it short, if you've ever met any successful person, you can interview them and they will say, I knew I was going to be successful because XYZ. I knew Apple was going to be something because of XYZ. I knew that this would work out eventually because of XYZ. And why did they know? Because they believed. Okay? When you believe something and you have faith in something, it will work out, okay? I'm not saying to believe in like weird things and like try to believe that you're a vampire and you can live forever. I mean, there's this guy, Brian Johnson, I think, who's trying to be like, live forever and extend his life. He's like a millionaire person who spends a lot of time testing and products on expanding the amount of years and reducing his biological age, which is pretty interesting. But you can try to like program yourself to believe you're gonna live forever, and that's just not gonna work, okay? What I will say is that in terms of self-belief and identity, you really have to see yourself as a trader. You really have to see yourself as, I don't want to keep using cliche success and millionaires. You really have to see yourself as a family man. You really have to see yourself as sober, recovered for these things to start working. So much in my sobriety, which I have 8 years, I'm going on 9, I spent focusing on sobriety. I didn't spend focusing on ruminating literally that I was an alcoholic and I couldn't stop. I was focused on the solution and how to just be sober. And the more that I focused on the solution and just how to be sober, how to manage my time differently, how to manage cravings, how to rebuild my life when booze was my best friend, it was a whole process and a whole life revamp. And I would say it was in getting sober that I learned how to be sober. And honestly, 8 years later, it still works because I know what to do to embody sobriety. Okay? So I'm not telling you to be sober, but I'm telling you that if there is something that you are striving for, that you're working to attain, if you don't really believe that you are an Olympian or a state champion, if you don't believe you are a senior person at that level, if you don't believe that you have the capabilities to be a manager, to be the boss, if you don't believe that you have the capability to be healthy and not toxic in your relationship, then the chances of it happening are likely nil, okay? So belief in the identity of what you are trying to attain is everything. Okay, people will say you have to embody a certain frequency, you have to meditate all day, you have to do yada 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 yada, you have to pray, you have to get baptized, you have to do all these things to be the person you want to be, right? But literally the only thing that you have to do to become that person is to literally do what they do. Google day trader for the stock market and ask ChatGPT step by step, what does their day look like? What do they do? How do they manage their time? How do they make investments? Where do they spend their money? How do they buy trades? What platforms do they use to buy trades? What banks do they use to buy trades? What brokers do they use to manage their money? Literally, what apps do they use? What time of the day do they literally get that specific in what it is that you're looking to jump into, whether it's trading or horseback riding. What do they wear? What kind of boots do they wear? What kind of saddle do they use? How do I ride a horse in the winter? Should I ride a horse in the winter? You have to get that specific when you are learning this new identity. It's just like going to school. How do I survive the class? What is the syllabus? What is the supplies needed? When do I show up? How do I show up? How do I communicate? What is expected of me? What are the assignments? Literally. So that's how easy it is to change your life, to get on track, and to start seeing proven evidential, I just made that up, evidence that you are that you say you are. You are who you say you are. You are what you want to be. Okay? There was a lot of points in my relationship when I had to really move away from some of my old trust issues, move away from the way I would even ghost my partner sometimes and be silent all day because I didn't know how to respond to her, or I didn't know how to handle a healthy relationship. So there was times I had to relearn, and I had to decide, am I healthy or am I toxic? What do healthy people do? ChatGPT. I feel like even once I had a conversation with an Instagram AI pretending to be a therapist because I was like, I can't afford therapy right now, so how do I manage this situation in my relationship? I was willing to do things that were different and out of my ordinary to get the result that I wanted. So again, this little clippet is me jumping back in to say, what up? I was in a car accident. I'm here to still help you succeed and give you some wisdom. But it's also here to tell you, hey, in the last month, I'm a prop firm trader. I use Apex. I'm in an evaluation right now, copy trading 5 accounts. I'm trying to take my time with this because sometimes I think that I need the dollar and I don't. I'm here for the challenge, here for the long game, here to pace myself, learn, and to be a professional. So as a professional, I'm operating in the platform and trading this week differently, okay? And I have to do that because that's who I am and that's what I do and that's what equates to success. So whatever field you are interested in, whatever your niche is, whatever skill you're looking to grow, attain, identify with the person that does it. Identify with, I'm the principal. What do the principals do? I'm the boss. What do bosses do? You know, so do that and check in with me in 2 weeks and see how it goes. Comment down below how your journey is going with whatever you're trying to embody in your life, okay? That's all I got. Until next time.